Alice in Wonderland, adapted and illustrated by Isco Penny Bryan Special School. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Alice. One day, while sitting by a tree with her sister, she saw a strange sight. A white rabbit appeared holding a pocket watch. I'm late, I'm late, said the rabbit as he disappeared down a large hole. Alice followed after the white rabbit and soon found herself tumbling down a long, dark hole. Alice thought she would never stop falling when suddenly she landed in a room surrounded by doors. How will I ever get out of here? Exclaimed Alice. On a table, she noticed a small golden key. Alice tried the key in each door, but it was too small. Finally, she found a little door that was just the right size. She put the key in and turned the lock. Alice peered through the doorway and could see a beautiful garden. She longed to explore it, but she was too big to fit through the door. Feeling sad, Alice burst into tears. It was then that she noticed a bottle with the words "Drink Me" on its label. Alice drank from the bottle and she began to shrink. Finally, Alice entered the garden and caught sight of the white rabbit. The white rabbit was startled to see Alice and quickly scurried off into the forest. Alice followed after him and soon became lost. She looked around worriedly and spotted sitting in a tree a strange Cheshire cat. Excuse me, can you help me find my way home? Asked Alice. You need to find the Mad Hatter, replied the cat, pointing towards the path with his tail. With that, the cat disappeared. Alice followed the path and quickly found the Mad Hatter. Excuse me, would you help me find my way home? Asked Alice. Well, that's all depends on what time it is, replied the Mad Hatter. Well, your clock says 6, but it doesn't seem to be working, said Alice. 6 o'clock? That's tea time. Sorry, I can't help you, replied the Mad Hatter. He's mad, thought Alice, as she set off back towards the forest. In the distance, Alice could hear voices and headed towards them. In a clearing, Alice met the Queen of Hearts and her procession of cards. Your Majesty, please could you help me find my way home? Asked Alice politely, but the Queen was very mean and bad tempered. Off with her head! Shouted the Queen, and all of her card soldiers rushed towards Alice. Wait, we must have a trial first, announced the King, and Alice was carried to the courthouse. The Queen blamed Alice for stealing her tarts and again screeched, Off with her head! This wasn't true and made Alice really cross. All of a sudden, Alice heard a familiar voice. She opened her eyes and saw her sister. Oh, said Alice, I had the most curious dream. The end.